Explainer. Why would world leaders balk at giving Putin DNA? By MALLIKA SEN, Associated Press. If knowledge is power, knowing the intimate secrets of one's DNA could be a powerful weapon. That might explain why the world leaders who hastened to Moscow in recent days for diplomatic talks seem to balk at Russian-administered coronavirus tests. But this may be a case where imagination is getting a bit ahead of what science is actually capable of. German Chancellor Olaf Scholz refused to let Russia conduct a PCR test, while French officials said President Emmanuel Macron balked at some of the requirements to meet Russian President Vladimir Putin, leading to speculation he didn't want the Russian swab either. Neither leader is known for opposition to COVID-19 countermeasures, so speculation arose that they were trying to keep genetic material out of Russia's hands. In the high-stakes world of national security and international espionage, global powers are always looking for an edge, and increasingly those new fronts are less tangible than the battlefield. So gene science may one day be a useful addition to the arsenal, intelligence experts say. But scientists say that day might still be a long way away. Here's a look at what may be, but probably isn't, afoot. Have the leaders actually accused Russia of trying to use their DNA for nefarious means? Well, no, but that hasn't stopped the rampant speculation. French officials bristled at questions and dismissed any idea that the Russians were trying to secretly get Macron's DNA. A French official said Russia's conditions for Macron to get close to Putin were not acceptable and not compatible with the French president's agenda. Hence, the absurdly long marble table that Macron and Scholz shared with the Russian president and which spawned many memes. German government spokesperson Stefan Hebestreit said he was reluctant to comment after the Macron stir. But he told reporters in Berlin that Scholz followed the same procedure Germany applies to foreign dignitaries. They can submit their own PCR tests and, if there's any doubt, a doctor can come on board the plane to observe the testing. The Russian side saw it differently and said, if there's a test it needs to be a Russian one. And the Chancellor decided he wouldn't be available for that, said Hebestreit, adding, but I wouldn't interpret too much into that. Why would France and Germany have reason to mistrust Russia? Both countries are members of NATO, which also includes the United States and Britain. NATO was formed during the Cold War by Western allies as a bulwark against the Soviet Union. Russia has expressed concern that NATO is using Ukraine as a pawn to undermine Russia and has cited that as the reason for its military buildup along Ukraine's borders. What can you actually learn from DNA? DNA is inside every cell in the body and could be extracted from multiple methods, like a nasal swab. Even though a coronavirus test swab is after different genetic material, RNA from the virus. Those samples have tons of human DNA, said Kenny Beckman, who directs the University of Minnesota Genomics Center. You could definitely take that sample, extract the DNA and do whatever kind of full workup you want to do on that person. Your DNA has the instructions that you need to survive and grow. Every person's DNA is unique. It can be used to find where your ancestors might have come from, whether you have any unknown relatives floating in the ether, and also whether you have certain genetic diseases or genetic abnormalities associated with diseases or medical conditions. In forensic science, DNA can be used to physically connect someone to a piece of evidence or eliminate someone as a suspect in a crime.